Go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Linepull Podcast. My name is Travis. You can find me on TikTok at Timberline7. Today we got another fun episode. What episode are we on, Dave? Dave's my co-host today. Are we on episode 8? Episode 8 so far. Awesome. So Dave is here with me. He's going to be my co-host, and we have a special guest today. Rough Iron. You find him on TikTok. The big iron worker man himself. Rough Iron, thank you for coming on the show today.
Yeah, man, no problem. What's going on, fellas?
What
is going down tonight?
Oh, not much. Just another day, another lost dollar. I had to work on a Saturday.
Me too.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I skipped. Well, unfortunately, take your pick. Skip Kenny. Kenny, the hack job. Come on, say something, man.
Well, hi. Since Travis has so graciously introduced me, hi. How are y'all doing today? I'm doing well, thank you.
Why do you sound like you're whispering?
I don't know, Travis.
Talking to the microphone. Deep throat the microphone. The microphone.
Anyway, hi. How you doing? I'm well. Thank you, Travis, for the opportunity to grace the podcast today in your presence.
You're welcome. Anyways, all right, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for joining us. Rough Iron, thank you again. So, one of the concepts that we're going to talk today is, Rough Iron, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you do? And I believe you say you're more of a rod buster than an iron worker. What's the difference between them for anybody that doesn't know the industry?
Not a damn thing. Iron worker is everything. But honestly, like my local, we do everything. My company, we do everything. We tie rods, we hang iron, move machinery, whatever. We always joke around, it's all iron work. Now, I prefer to do rods. I enjoy it more. I enjoy the people more. But that being said, it's all just, to me, it's all just iron work. But I've been doing it for 21 years. So, when it comes down to that, it just kind of all runs together at that point. For me.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Because I was under the assumption that a rod buster was nothing more than an iron worker that was afraid of heights.
No, that's so the old adage is rod busters are afraid of heights and structural guys are afraid of work.
Nice.
There it is.
So that's why they don't tie rods. So believe me, after 20 years I've heard damn near everything.
That was a good one. And I mean, dude, I've seen you guys work, sitting up in the cab, and you want to talk about not wanting to work, you're talking to a bunch of crane operators. So go ahead and lay on the jokes.
Right.
But, I mean, rod busting, that is an ass-kicking amount of work. Especially, we're coming into the middle of summer. It was 102 degrees here in Denver today. At a mile above sea level, still, I guess we're just closer to the sun and whatnot. But, yeah, it was still hot.
Because I think it was 90 here. But I live pretty close to Lake Erie. I live a stone throw to Lake Erie. So we get a lot of humidity, too, with that. So it kind of sucks.
Humidity's good.
I can't do it. I could not do the humidity.
What was your temperature, Florida?
My temperature? It was kind of cool. We got like all summer's rain yesterday that we have missed for the past 5 weeks. So it actually cooled off. It was like 85 or 87 today. It was a little cooler than it has been.
We were 106 with 115 heat index.
Uh-huh. See, this is why I don't live in Texas. Honestly, I would go to Las Vegas before I went to Texas simply because of the humidity factor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Humidity is worse. I did a summer down in San Antonio, and I almost died. I thought I was going to die. I got out of the truck, and it's just, whack, done. I'm like, oh, yeah. God, I'm done. Okay, tap out.
I just got back from South Florida this week, and...
Oh.
I was born and raised in Florida.
If you're not sweating in the air conditioning because you're thinking of the humidity, then it's not humid enough for me. I absolutely love the heat and humidity. So.
Yeah, I grew up in Central Florida.
That explains a lot, Dave.
Yeah, when I was in I was out every day in South Florida, but I was fishing. So.
Yeah, see, when you're doing something you enjoy and you're not, sitting there dragging through work, it's probably a lot easier to handle.
Were you fishing for marlin or tuna? Or...
No, I was in the Everglades fishing. I was snakehead fishing for peacocks, all that stuff.
Yeah, we used to go down there in airboats and hunt hogs and stuff.
Yeah, there was a couple guys going out. They made it. They got an alligator hunt going on right now.
Oh yeah.
And then I think this month is
pythons right now.
I was gonna say, it just started the first for pythons. So there'll be a lot of them boys getting down after them right now too.
So,
That, and I think lobster season just started too on the coast.
Yeah.
So
Rough Iron, how did you get started in the blue collar industry?
so actually getting started in ironwork, my whole family was nothing but Boilermakers. All my dad and all his brothers are all Boilermakers by trade. One of my best friends I grew up playing hockey with, he became an ironworker. Well, I was still playing hockey and dicking around and doing stupid shit. And I just got tired of not making money because I was playing minor league pro hockey and it was tough. You know, you don't make no money, you get your ass beat every day. So I was like, yeah, man, like I'm gonna go make some of this money that this dude's making. You know, he's 19 years old and come walking in the door with piles of cash. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So that's how I got started, really.
Nice.
So
Now, from when you started to now, how has the industry, adapted or changed from then to now?
yeah, so when I first started, like, a harness now, like nobody even questions a harness. A harness is just part of the job. When I started, it was like, hey, if you can find a harness, go ahead and put one on. And like now you wouldn't even get on the iron, or hell, even you guys can't even get up on top of your damn cranes anymore almost without being tied off. I've seen it, trust me.
Yeah, our limit is 14 feet.
Yeah,
That's what OSHA gives you. Don't let the site argue with you. I'll deal with
Oh
that.
yeah, 'cause you're gonna have 4 feet, just like our subpart R for connecting iron. Yeah, just throw that out. It's like punting on first down.
Mhm.
But
Great analogy.
yeah, it's stupid, but insurance, man. Everything's about insurance.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we want everybody to go home at the end of the day. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes down to rules that are almost like 4 feet, like.
Well, and that's where there's an inherited risk in the trade that us as tradesmen have monitored. You know, I'm an erector. I put cranes together as well as operate them. So there is an inherited risk that goes into crane A and D, and you can't always tie off. And it's like I've explained and argued with safety folks before. Okay, we'll work with you. I have pipe wraps and belts and all that stuff to wrap around lacings and things like that to tie off, but it's going to be at your feet. I said, and the fact of the matter is, especially up here intertwined with cable, our subpart CC says we don't have to tie off on anything, any powered structure, superstructure, any rotating equipment, hoist drums, rotating anything like that. We don't have to tie off, and I will absolutely refuse and fight for that because guy needs to get out of the way of a hoist drum. He needs to be able to get out of the way.
Right.
And it's like I told him as well, you know, they want to play safety. I play the 5,000 psi rule, but our subpart says a competent individual can deem a piece of the crane, safe to tie off to. So, and I give them a little bit, but I take a little bit back. But at the same time, there's an inherited risk that is always going to be there. That as tradesmen, that we have learned our trade, and the insurance and the safety personnel that just graduated school or wherever they came from don't understand. And it's like it's more of a risk to do some of the safety stuff at times.
In the refineries down here, if a crane is going to be stationary in one spot for a while, they will build a scaffold around it where you walk up to the operator's cab.
That'd be kind of nice. I mean, my fat would enjoy that. It'd be a lot easier.
So Kenny, what you're telling me is that you don't want to take your carabiner and just snap it right onto the load line.
Now, without being too contradicting of myself, I may or may not have done it.
I've done that walking the boom down the boom.
Yeah.
I do that. It depends on who's sitting in the seat, and preferably nobody's sitting in the seat if I were to do that.
Well, and an unfortunate story, years ago, I was working for a company, and one of the foremans, it was actually setting precast for a major company. He got to telling about a story he was on of a job the year before where a guy clipped off to the boom cable. He didn't know no better, and the operator boomed up, and you fill in the blank from there. It was very unfortunate. So I'm very adamant about that. We don't tie off, and I've argued with safety folk about that. I mean,
I know iron workers have a lot of heroes in the past. The guys, the immigrants that came over that built the high rises and practically built the country.
Like the Native Americans too.
Yeah. So do you have any of that in your heritage, in your family, or?
Not really, because I'm a Gen 1 iron worker for my family.
Oh, okay.
So there's me and then my pile of boys. So, I don't know. There around here, it's a lot of a lot of Polish and German like descent is a lot of ours around here.
Mhm.
The more Native American, like you get into like the Mohawks and stuff like that, but them guys all did big iron. Like most of them guys didn't tie rods. You got to get more like out towards like where Trav is at and stuff like that, to where the Native Americans tie rods, like out west a little more. And then obviously the Mexicans. And I have a pile of Mexicans that I've known these guys 20 years and they're the greatest dudes I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
So.
So what is let me rephrase that. Have you done a lot of hot rivets, whether for actual work or more for competition and fun? Because I know not long ago you did go to an ironworking competition.
I go to the ironwork competition. I've been to the ironwork competition every single year my entire career.
That's amazing. Do we even have a crane operators rodeo?
There was a crane rodeo
you guys,
one time, but I haven't seen it in years.
I haven't seen one either.
I know the union crane operators have one in Vegas. They have a rodeo in Vegas. Now, because of COVID, did they cancel it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's do
like
it.
ours, like so if you look like all these right here on my shelf, all those are like gold belt buckles for me winning the competition for all the 20 years or whatever.
That's amazing.
And then like let's see, like last year at the thing our international inducted me into the Hall of Fame.
Nice.
Ironworkers Hall of Fame. So like I think I am the only living member. Well, I'm the only member ever in my local to get inducted into it. And then I'm the only living member, obviously, to get it. So
right on, that's awesome.
That is amazing. So, what is your event of choice?
Well, I dominate the rods. Obviously, that's my thing. But I'm usually in the top 5 for the entire tournament. That's the column climb, rods, rivets, tying our rope knots, and what's the other damn one? Oh, we throw a spud wrench like at a target, like axe throwing.
Oh, that's
awesome. Is it the shape of a cap or?
No, not the shape of a cap. Although I sit on the committee,
you were throwing spikes at one time. I met you in the live, giving away boots or something like that.
Oh yeah. So I think it was Rock Rooster had reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, you want to give away 5 pairs of boots?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine." But I wanted to do it to where I did it on a live, to where it was totally fair. And people weren't like, "Oh, you picked who you know how that stuff goes, man." People, if they don't win, they assume shit. So I was like, "Well," and then I didn't throw any because I'm pretty good at it. So I was like, "Nope, they got picked the name, and like I'm good enough to hit that." So I just had my kids throw spud wrenches at a piece of wood with but I don't know, like 5,000 names on it.
Wow!
He got his whole family involved. They were throwing it at the bullpen.
Nice.
Yeah, like I'm so ate up with this ironwork shit. I have a rebar wall in my yard and scaffolding for practicing and like
I mean, I've got a crane boom flagpole and I got track pads for pavers in my flower bed, and I'm working on building there's pieces of jib. Our company's building conference tables out of jib sections, and there's pieces that they've cut off, and I'm going to weld the jib sections together and build a header on my lean-to. So I mean,
if I could put a column up out here, I would, but I don't know if the city will let me.
See what your HOA says about that.
I don't have it.
Excuse me, sir.
No HOA here.
Oh,
no
lucky
HOA
you.
here either.
I will never have a HOA. I have a historical house, but I live about 100 feet outside their historical lines, so they can't fucking stand me, which is perfect. Because last year when I painted my house, I just brought home a 60-foot boom lift, just drove it around the neighborhood, painting my house and doing what. I need a tree cut down. I'll be over in a couple days.
That's awesome.
So I do live in an HOA, and it is luckily it's like the laziest HOA you could ever find, because I only pay $100 a year, and they don't do anything. Right? My neighbor wanted to paint his house. You get 30 days. You don't hear anything for 30 days, just go ahead and do it. Yep, 30 days went by, I heard nothing. So he just, all right, whatever I wanted to do is what I'm going to do. So I guess I am lucky for that part, but we're looking to getting out of here and something else, because Colorado's getting a little ridiculous.
Well, the more anal HOAs are the elderly, more.
Yeah, the older neighborhoods.
The older Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but to go off of what Rough Iron says, I did bring a telehandler home with a man basket in order to put Christmas lights on my 2-story house. So that's that's the best way to do it right there. And I mean, I had an 812 pitch rough, and it's like, God, I don't want to fall off my rough hanging Christmas lights and then end up being out of work.
When we lived out in the county, in the country, I borrowed Works 18-wheeler and got lumber and all that shit, brought it to the house.
Oh yeah, I definitely use what I can get away with for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I rented the boom lift, but I used it under our company name, so I got the discount for it.
Nice.
You know, he's like, oh yeah, you just want to put it, and I put it on our insurance and all that, and I asked, and they're like, I don't care, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Very nice.
yeah.
So I'm curious about your TikTok career, because you have more followers than the three of us put together. How did you get started in TikTok? How long you been doing it? What has it done for you?
So I got started in it. So I play hockey. I played college and I played some pro, and then I was in Dallas in a hockey tournament, and my kids are playing on their phones and doing shit, and I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" They're like, "Oh, we're on TikTok," and I was like, "Well, what's TikTok?" They're like, "It's for us young dudes, relax, old." I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, please. I'm like, you know how funny we are at work? And they're like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, and I was like,
okay, old man.
Like, instantly, I was like, well, I'm a competitive dude. I'm like, oh, we're doing this. So I if you go back and look at my very first video, kind of messed up because the cops beating somebody up out in front of my house. But it really was. They tased the shit out of that dude too. But anyway.
That's why it went viral.
No, it did. But it's funny you say that because my sixth video went viral. Like the sixth video I posted went nuts.
Nice.
And all it was it was like the whole Donald Trump era, and it was Donald Trump singing like "Take Me Home, West Virginia." It was one of my Mexicans walking in front of me. That's all it was.
Oh man!
And the internet had a meltdown. Now, before everybody gets all bent out of shape, not you guys, 'cause I know you guys, but you'd be surprised. I usually, like, if I do anything with them guys, I ask them first, like, hey, do you care if I make a video and post it? And they're like, I don't care. And I'm like, all right, we're friends, man. I don't want you to think that I don't like you or, I'm just making a joke.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, some of the guys, there's still a little bit of a language barrier, but I'm speaking of Spanish to make that all right. But somebody just duetted my video today, the one where I said, hey, Carlos, go take a break. And he says, see, or whatever. And she... I don't know. She must have felt some type of way about it because she's like, all right, Lord Farquaad, first of all, if you ain't watched the movie, shut up because I'm 6'1", 200-something pounds with a beard. He's like, God, I got to talk about Shrek and his people like that. That's messed up. But, and then I tried to answer her back in Spanish, like wrote it all in Spanish. And she had everything blocked. You couldn't share it and do it. I was going to screen record it and be real petty, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you'll get that.
I get so many haters on TikTok.
Oh my God! I'm the fattest rod buster they've ever seen. It's hilarious.
Well, I mean, a really good friend of mine was a rod buster, and he was a little round in the middle there, and I always said it to him, like, dude, you're the fattest rod buster I've ever seen in my life. But he was, a real good friend of mine, just giving him shit.
Right. I love it. I love all the hate on TikTok because hate is views, and views is more numbers. Yeah. And if that's all you can do is talk shit on a keyboard, you ain't ever gonna hurt my feelings. I promise.
I just write them back and say thank you for his support.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like when people like when I used to do my lives, I get a lot of it, and I was like, I don't know, man, all those little things back there, all them gold belt buckles that say I won that tournament, probably. I mean, they speak for themselves. I don't really gotta say much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started making sure that like spelling of words was wrong, so that way you get those people that come out to correct it. And it's just feed them comments, buddy. Feed those comments.
Oh, is that how you got me, Travis?
Yeah, probably.
It's always the yours too.
Yes.
Yours. If you like, we should all make a video and release it, all saying your, like, just using it way out of context, and it'll go crazy.
Oh man,
you are Travis,
because they're so anal retentive, and it's like big freaking deal. You can't. It's like arguing on the internet. It's what it is,
Yeah, it's hilarious. Like I got a guy that I play. I had a hockey game before this, and we're talking shit back and forth on the bench. He's a UAW guy, and he's like, I slashed him in the leg with my stick, and he's like, you kind of hurt me. I was like, whatever. And then he hit me back, and I was like, see how I didn't cry? I said, ironworkers are men, we don't cry. And he He about lost it, and then we were going back and forth. I was like, "Who builds your buildings?" I was like, "Ironworkers." I was like, "Who moves your machines?" I was like, "Ironworkers." I was like, "You guys even do anything?" And he got this back and forth on the bench in between plays.
Oh, nice.
Just shit talking to each other, but it's all in good fun, and we're all we all got me and him play on the same team on a tournament team that travel the country and play hockey all over. So, yeah,
Right on.
it's a good banner.
Aside from fishing, what are some of your other hobbies?
Probably my favorite hobby is just being a dad. Really, I say a hobby now because my boys are all fucking grown, pretty much. They're all ironworkers. They got to deal with me, except for my daughter who is 6 and runs the whole house.
So, are you going to let your daughter walk iron? Or?
No. She can go play hockey for Team USA or something. She definitely, but she's six foot tall at 4 years old or whatever she is. She's ridiculously tall, so I don't know what she's gonna do.
Yeah.
So my wife's 6 foot. Her brother's 7'2". So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that turns out. She's 6 and she's almost taller than her 11-year-old brother. So.
Man,
Holy cow! My daughter just turned is about ready to turn 9, and she's barely broken 4 feet.
She's already over 4 feet. Like she's like
Wow.
4'3" or something. She's stupid tall. It's crazy.
That's crazy. Absolutely.
Yeah,
nuts.
trying to buy clothes for her is like, well, what do you do? I mean, luckily everybody's got that like stretchy clothes now, so now it kind of lasts a little while.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I just need the stretchy ones around the waist.
Yeah.
Save those
I
for
know
Thanksgiving.
Right.
All right. So, being that the rest of us are crane operators, and you're like the odd man out, what do you like to see from us?
Correction, real quick. You're a boom truck operator.
I will slap the shit out of you, Dave. Don't you ever disrespect me like that again. Freaking,
So
you
really-
sit on a wellhead for a week at a time. You tell me how much shit you do. I put more miles in a day than you do getting to work and back. How dare you disrespect
Welcome to
me
the show,
like
Larry.
that? Anyways, all right.
Oh,
so,
I
Rough Iron.
love it.
What
So
do
Dave,
you
what you're
expect
saying
from
is
your-
Travis is the boomer, right? With the boom truck?
Yeah.
Is
he's
that how
the
that one will
boomer.
work?
The true boomer.
What do you expect from your operators? Hopefully, they're not as bad as Dave.
Mostly, I get a lot of operators on telehandlers, honestly. And lately, every single one I've gotten has been brand new or like a second-year apprentice, third-year apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows how to pick up rebar. Nobody. They pick it up and they bounce it off the forks and they tear it all up. So we have to have like a retraining course, like my way.
You
And,
must, because I saw that TikTok you posted not long ago about the things my forklift operator has hit, and when you started showing X-rays, I was like,
I saw
"Holy
that. That was
Which-
hilarious.
I haven't seen that one.
It's
Oh.
actually so he's like, you're a dick, but he didn't hit not one of those. Not any of that was even him. It was just that one pallet spinner since August of last year just fell over. The bricks. I think who hit the bricks? The masonry guys hit the bricks and knocked them over. They're my bricks, but they knocked them over. The pipe, I don't know who the fuck put the pipe up. My kid's leg, he broke that playing hockey, but I just figured it was funny.
okay, good," because I was like, somebody, I
But-
like, what the hell?
The comment section. So I texted him. I'm like, bro, look at, and I didn't tag him, and he's like, don't tag me in that, man. I'm like, all right. But the comment, everybody knows he's working for me, so he's getting like blown up. He's like, damn, dude, how do you not get 2 checks? And I'm like, but he's actually a really good operator. The dude, he does a lot for me. Like he'll go out and rig up his own stuff. I don't even gotta go mess with him half the time. He's like, I'll get it. Don't worry about it. He carries a tape measure. He's got a tie wire reel in his thing so he can tie bundles up. Like he does a little bit of extra stuff, but treat them good and they treat you good. So
Anytime I've ever run a lull,
When
I
y'all are,
don't do that.
when y'all
I'm
are
sitting
tying,
there
tying
and
the iron, when y'all are tying the iron, do y'all use the drills to tie it? Or
yeah, so
Y'all
I
tie
had
it
the
by
max.
hand?
We had the max tie guns. They're only good for flat work though. If you're doing walls, where like say you guys are gonna pick the walls for us, absolutely not, because they're only a little bit thicker than what you would tie your garbage bags up with or your bread ties, doubled up.
Really?
So
Wow.
if you walk on them, like they're meant to be tied and not touched. if you got to pick it up and move it, it's gonna fall apart.
Okay.
So, but if you tie
I
anything
feel
else,
sorry
you
for
tie
the
it by
first guy
hand.
that figured that one out.
Go ahead.
And
go ahead.
they've gotten better and better and better. But they were really the older ones. A lot of us can still tie faster than the old ones. The new ones, we can't beat the new ones, but they did strengthen the wire up. It's a little faster, but still only good for flat stuff though.
Mm.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But we
Kenny.
do have them.
Well, I don't know.
He's like, I don't know.
Then we'll skip you again.
Okay.
What?
I
Yeah,
think-
did you not have a question, comment, a
No.
story, something?
Now I posted a TikTok. The crane was flying a rebar wall, and it just fell apart in the sky.
I think I posted that same one where they over in a foreign country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I posted that one a couple years. Well, probably a couple years at this point. Yeah, and I remember trying to find it because I seen it somewhere, like in the Rodbuster world, and I'm like, God, where's that damn video? But something like that one, I don't know. That one, it looked like maybe they didn't tie it right, and it slid, and the chokers ran. And once that happens,
That's it.
it's over with.
Mm.
I had an apprentice took a wall up one time. He had been working for me for a while, and I was like, hey, you know what you're doing, right? He's like, yeah, I got it. Well, of course, we're swinging it in, and I'm looking, and I'm like, oh, mother, like, that's wrong. I'm looking at my operator's almost in the blind. He can just see me, so I crawl off the wall as fast as I can. I'm like, fucking cable, like, get it on the ground. I don't care how fast you get it down, get it on the ground. And he got it on the ground, and I was like, bro, you gotta know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, I ain't even gonna be mad. I just don't want to have us get impaled and die. So it's stuff like that. And some of the operators that work with us a lot, they know what our rigging looks like when we're hooking up them rebar walls, and they'll just stop. They won't even one of my buddies. He's an excellent operator. He'll get out and ask. He's like, what are we doing? What's this? What's that? What's this? He would ask the bar size. Like he's got it down pat pretty good now that he's been working with us for quite a while. So
yeah.
And he works for a rental house, so he's he does a lot of different stuff too. Where he goes one day he might be in a 2250, the next day he might be out here running a Broderson or something. So he's all over the place.
Well, I believe if you're going to be a crane operator, a good crane operator, you have to know what you're working with. You have to know.
Oh yeah.
How things are put together, where their weak points are, where the strong points are.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, everybody's like, oh, they don't need to know rigging. I'm like, yeah, they do. To a point, they do.
Yeah, and I explain that to people, to young guys coming into it, or green operators as well. You got to trust and learn the trades that you're working with. Because whether it's flying iron, tree and joist, flying the bundles, I've always wanted them smiling. I know some places swear you want it crowning. It's like just knowing the way that things look as an operator. It not only makes yourself look good, it makes the job go smoother. It makes your crew happier. It makes all of that stuff, that much more better. And just knowing the work you're working with. So.
It does, and if you pick something nice, like you say, if it's frowning, and you pick it the same way every time, then if you see it and you're like, all right, that's how they want it. That looks good. Get up on it, get it out of here. But if it comes up and it's all like jacked up, and you're like, yeah, put that back down.
Yeah, put it down.
And I'm real anal about my chokers. I don't know about you guys, but I am absolutely anal about wrapping my chokers up, making sure the tag goes to the hook. I don't I cannot stand. I can't stand assholes and chokers. I can't stand tore up chokers, especially working rebar. It's all round. You shouldn't even fucking have you shouldn't even tear them up. Mm-hmm. So I get real bent out of shape about when they tear my stuff up.
Hey, you guys got that slide hook choker? Do you guys still use that, or is that a thing of the past?
Only to unload trucks now. They're kind of cracking down on them a little bit. So
kind of like shakeout hooks and stuff.
What about the goose hooks, the long? You still use those?
Yeah,
the Pelican hooks.
I've seen them here to unload trucks.
Yeah, so you can unload as long as you keep them, staring to the ground. They don't want you flying anything with them.
You're not setting steel with those.
No.
No, hell no. For one, you got to hook them either in the hole or on the plane, so they're going to be in the damn way. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I know. I ran.
How much do you normally like to tree with? How many pieces do you tree?
Well, because rebar, we don't tree shit really. I mean, I have. Don't get me wrong. I've treed some rebar, but 7.
when you're flying iron,
3 to 5 is probably the norm. Depending on where you're at, how size the box is. You guys like to put 7 on there sometimes.
I've never flown 7. 5 is all I've ever done.
I've seen 7, and I was like, I don't think that's right. But
Yeah.
you know, like, I ain't. That ain't my business.
Now,
I've treated 7, but it wasn't steel. It was
2 people. Pick one. Eeny, meeny, miny, go Travis.
really. Okay, so I have treed 7, but it wasn't steel. It was HVAC boxes.
Okay.
So there was no weight to them.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't even know honestly what the sub part is on. I think it's 5. So.
I'll say I've been told 5, and you know
I've
it's
heard
5.
5 is the limit. 3
It's
is
long to
preferred.
short. You got to make sure that way it's not up there helicoptering and taking out everything above, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
usually seeing 3 or 4.
Yeah. I think the norm is 3 to 4. I mean, like I said, if you're trying to fill in a big box, they'll probably run the max every time. When I was in Iowa, we were in Iowa and we had a Johnny Cash everything, and I was like, this is stupid. And then the young guys are like, what's Johnny Cash? I'm like, 1 piece at a time, dude. And they're like,
I love it because that's the theme song to my truck, so I didn't catch it up. But yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, and they would not, and we had to have this thing filled in, and they would not let us treat anything. Finally, one day, and they wouldn't even let us buy the rigging for it. So one day we just went around the plant and got every fucking piece of rigging we could. It was a Saturday and a Sunday. We got the whole thing boxed in. We made our own rigging bells, you know, to sling 5 pieces and got it all boxed in. They're like, you guys really worked really hard over the weekend. Like, yeah, we did. But yeah, it was crazy.
There's a place here in Indy that'll make you do 1 piece at a time, and they want a 3-point hitch on it. So you have to have either
Oh my god.
a come along in the middle to take tension, or a special choker in the middle, or something. It's ridiculous.
I got one for you.
I worked on a 22 over there.
Have you?
I was in Effingham though.
Oh, okay, all the way over in Illinois. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess 22 did because they absorbed Lafayette and Terre Haute local, and I think Terre Haute goes up.
I had all the Terre Haute boys.
Yeah.
All right, I was working with some old school ironworkers. At least that's what they said it was. So tell me if you've ever done this. What they wanted to do, they took the latch on the ball and they taped it back. Then you take a shackle. Yep, and then you take a shackle up to the load line. Run about 10 feet of 10-foot choker around. You hook it in there, and we were sitting
bar
on
joist and back up.
trusses. Yep. And you fly it up there. You get it landed. You cable down. You try to get it. You work it a little bit. You get it to pop off there, and off you go again. Is that
everyday practice here?
Okay. All right. Cool. So that's a standard for you guys. Okay.
Every company here does it. Everywhere I've been does it actually.
Mm-hmm.
And we do flare stack. When we do flare stacks in the oil field, we'll tie the hooks back on the shaker hooks because it's so far up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All the way up there, and there's no ladder, there's no man lift to get up there, and we don't have.
Whenever I've ever stood tall columns and had to stand columns like that, they'll mouse the hook back, they'll shackle above the becket, and then go around, choke the column back to the hook again, and that way you can come down on it. And they've got
itself off
with a tagline on the. Yeah, you can work yourself off, and they've got a tagline on the bite that they can pull it free and drop the choker down too. So.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move into our closing segment here. Kenny, did you have our picking in the blind?
I suppose so.
Ruff, I don't know if you're aware or any new listeners. Picking in the blind is our closing out segment where we pretty much just a topic shot from the hip. Right? We could be anything. Whatever Kenny decides, kind of to catch you off guard and to come up with pretty much anything.
Okay.
What do you got, Kenny?
I don't know.
You don't know. You didn't think about it. And you thought my last picking in the blind was dumb.
It was dumb.
I'm not the one that was wanting to meet blue people from Avatar.
Well,
God.
Judge me. I don't care. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm judging you freaking hard.
You always do.
You can do it, Kenny. We have faith in you.
Oh, let's see. Do we have FCC regulations to adhere to?
Okay, Dave, do you have a picking in the blind?
Yeah.
You had one job, Kenny. One job.
I didn't know it was assigned to me.
We put these. We start putting these podcasts out like a week to 2 weeks in advance.
I didn't know that I had picking in the blind on this.
You guys want me to give you a picking in the blind story?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah, do it. Give us something. Hit us with something. Thank you.
All right. So we're working. So Jeep is built right here in Toledo, right? So we're doing the brand new building, and we had this operator named Gomez. Dude is probably the best operator I've ever seen, hands down. Whatever. He's since retired. But one day we had a bunch of Boilermakers that wanted to get in a man basket with us. Now he run an old friction rig. We get on the radio. We're like, hey, a bunch of booger makers are getting in this basket with us. Why don't you let's give him a ride? He's like, all right. I think we had like 300 plus foot of stick on there. So what's he do? He fucking guns that thing all the way up to the 2 block. I'm like, oh my god, where the fuck are we going? Swings out and he just cuts that fucking brake loose, and here we come down fucking K1. You can hear the just coming through the shivs. I'm like, holy fuck, dude. And then about halfway down, he's like, oh fuck. And like on the radio, you can hear him like, oh fuck, what? Like we're kind of moving. You can hear him standing on the brakes, like he is standing on these brakes, smoking these things. I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna fucking die. But this basket comes down, it hits the ground with us in it, but it hit the ground so soft, but all the boom deflection, just made so much fucking noise. You got these Boilermakers diving out of this basket, like just falling all over themselves. We're laughing now that we're not dead, and I'm like, he locks that fucker, and here comes safety because they hear this boom deflection, out of 300 something foot, and Boilermakers diving out of the basket. And anyway, short story, they had their own radio after that. So they didn't want to ride with us no more.
You know what? That's picking the bond. You other two guys, what other cool, a good story you got from the job site here? Whatever trade, whatever.
I was rigging at the time, and we were working on the dock, and we were doing man basket work. We had 2 guys in there. They were giving my operator shit all fucking day. They were just yelling at him and throwing shit on the dock. And he's like, I'm tired of this shit. Watch this. So we hung him over the bulkhead right above the fucking water. Went to lunch. Left him right there. Hey, where are you going? I said, we're going to lunch. Fuck you.
I guess I guess it is picking in the blind. The time that I got to ride the hook in a bosun's chair down an 8-foot shaft for a frac sand tower. The 8-foot steel tube goes up about 200 feet. It had the bucket wheel conveyor belt, and one bucket wheel parted at the top, came down, all piled up at the bottom. So we get on site, and obviously this is taxi crane service. The salesman never came out to look at it, so it was just, send a crane up there, have them help them out. We get up there, we start looking at it, and realize how big of a deal this actually is. Me being probably one of the smaller guys on the crew, and I was like, yeah, I'll ride the hook. This is going to be a blast. Well, after climbing the 200 feet worth of stairs to get to the top, you get rigged up and whatnot. We do go through all the safety crap, everything. I had to wear a face mask because of the silica sand. But yeah, you get in there, you squirm my scrawny little ass around the top pulley, and then it's just, you rode it all the way down. And yeah, we come down about, I don't say 180 feet till we finally get to the pile at the bottom. And they're like, I want 100% communication all the way down. And so halfway down, I ran out of things to say. It starts singing 16 tons as we get to the bottom. Standing up there looking down at the mangled mess, trying to figure out how we're going to rig this. Realize we're not going to do it with one crane. And we were using a AC 220, a 245 with the 7-section long boom. Both jibs swung. And then we called out the GMK 5165. 169 feet of stick, both the jib and the fly swung for that. Sent the 165 down. I rode the 245, chased the ball all the way down. We get down there. I rigged it up with 2 10-foot, 2-inch shackles or chokers. They pulled me out. Then we started pulling the conveyor belt out, and then we just spent the rest of the afternoon going hand over hand, pulling this freaking
oh my god,
conveyor belt out. And that was oh man, I was on the radio signaling for all this, and it was stressful because you got the 2 tips, and the 245 is taller than the 165, and you're trying to get them crossed and up underneath each other, and but we got her done that day. That was 18 hours worth of fun. Came back next day, broke everything down, and carried on.
Yeah, I got one for you now. Got one for you. How can something be new and improved? If something is new, what is it improving?
How can something be new and improved?
But if it's new, what is it improving?
All the things that the old lacked.
I mean, if it's me, I'm going straight to a new pair of titties.
Oh,
I
can't
mean,
argue.
Oh.
I don't know what it's improving. Not my bank account, but definitely.
Improved.
I
If
mean,
it's new, it's improving.
I don't know. It's too late.
I don't understand. Is this like a riddle?
No. It's a question that makes you go, huh?
I feel like the answer is in the question.
Apparently it is working on you.
Well, the answer is in the question. If it's new and improved, then you're improving to make the new.
Pay attention, Travis.
It's not a riddle, but he's treating it like
How
a riddle.
can something be new and improved? You know, like new and improved soap?
Yes.
Because the old soap wasn't good. So
Exactly.
If something is new, brand new, what is it improving?
The stuff that was wrong with it in the old one, I don't know.
Yep, I agree with Kenny.
That's a rare occasion, so take it for what you will.
I mean, it could be new and not improved. Okay.
That's what it is. I mean, new and not improved.
No, there's a difference. You can have new and improved, but you could have new but not improved, just more new.
I have this cup. Okay.
Okay.
I have a cup too.
I have. Oh,
If I say this is the new and improved cup, what if it's brand new? What did it improve?
probably the insulation from the old model. Maybe a more
Gen 1.
ergonomic handle.
Gen
You know?
one,
Fucker
Gen
don't hold ice.
Gen 1 cup.
I don't know what you want from me,
Gen 2
Dave.
Yeti here.
Damn it! Yeah, that's what do you want from me?
It's like having a 78 truck and putting an LS1 in it.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
New and
I
improved.
mean, I'm all about it. Trust me. But
Right? See, there you go.
But see,
What if it's new and disimproved?
Disimproved.
Oh.
Is that even a word?
Yeah.
just fuck.
I think that's called. Is that called marriage?
That's Chinese shackles, is what that is.
I was
I
going
mean,
to
it was
suggest
really
our
nice before I got
presidency,
married,
but hey, that works too.
Oh man.
All right.
You don't listen to this shit because it's got me in it, so I'm good.
Yeah. See, this episode is new and improved.
It really is.
That's right. It's new and improved.
All right.
It's not new, but it's improved because you're not freezing.
This is true because I went into the house between podcasts and reset the router. I also moved it 2 feet closer
It is
to
a
the
new
garage.
it is a new and improved episode because it is a new episode from the last one, and he improved his router. So there
Well,
you go.
I would like to say, never mind.
Well, Travis is not new, and he's not improved.
Rude. Well, if anybody's not new, you're not new. Freak.
Oh, I know I'm not new.
Yeah, boomer.
I'm not new. I'm old as shit. I mean, I got grown kids.
All right, so then I guess the best question: who's older, Rough Iron or Dave?
Inappropriate questions. Yes, Robbie. how much
Hey,
you
you
know?
know it. It's fair game.
Oh,
Fair
I don't
game
give
here.
a shit. I think I'm
See?
43.
You think?
Dave.
Come on, Dave.
Dave remembers when there was hemp rope instead of cable, instead of wire rope.
Dave used to
Wooden
walk
booms.
the treadmill in order to cable up.
Book numbers on a chiseled stone.
I will be 49 this year.
Oh, we're close.
I
Two
am
babies
35.
We're from the best generation.
Yeah, exactly. Gen X.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
Don't fuck with Gen X. Fuck you up.
Uh-huh. Oh God, this is freaking.
Hey,
so I was thinking about starting a podcast too. And I think I was gonna call it Bolts and Holes. And then, so one of my best friends, he's an ironworker. He's gayer and shit. I told her, I said, I'll be the bolt, you be the hole, even though you don't like the bolt. But whatever. But we were dead ass.
I like where this is going. Keep
She's
going.
working like 7/12s, and I'm like, you suck. And she's working at a nuke plant, so she can't just like be an asshole like me and just do whatever. So I was like, man. But anyway,
Yeah,
if I do it, gonna have to invite all you guys on.
Well,
So
heck yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
that'd be sweet. It'd be fun.
So we're about at the 45-minute mark. Dave, why don't you close this out?
Well, give me 2 minutes here. I do got one question that I meant to ask earlier.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
So on the social media
wait till
thing,
the very end in order for you
Well,
to come chiming in now.
you pinned me down with.
Hey, they've
picking the
made it this long. They can wait 2 more minutes.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Fair enough.
Mute Travis if we need to. Anyway, so hey man, just a question on your TikTok and all that. How do the sites and how does your company? Because my company actually lost their effing mind and put out a corporate-wide bulletin about no social media. You can't have a. Free
Oh
life
yeah,
and all
they
that. So how do they handle
rough
that?
iron rule here.
They have a rough
like-
iron rule.
Like in my local area, there's like a rough iron rule pretty much because everywhere I go, they're like no social media, this, that, whatever. I'm like, whatever, man, fuck your face. But they but see, my buddy. So I have a friend who owns a crane yard. That's where I film all my videos at. 99.9% of my videos are filmed at
Really?
home, off the clock, at a crane yard. I just go, and it's on a public road, so I just film it wherever. I don't give a shit. Like the grain mill that's always in the back, or all them cranes, them old Bucyrus cranes. They're never gonna move. They've been there since I was a kid.
Nice.
So so the last video I think I posted on Instagram is a video that I had to quit a company for that I was with for quite a while. They got bent out of shape, and I was like, you know what? Fuck you. And they were like, what? I said, well, I'm going to lunch. I'll be back. When I came back, I had my truck already cleaned out, and I gave them my truck, and
Yeah.
it was my birthday, and I wasn't putting up with it. So.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I know they lost their mind, and a lot of my stuff I do now. If you notice, I'll have something in my pocket covering my company logo tag, and all my stuff is always off the clock or at lunchtime or something like that. Like my little promos that I shoot of me walking through the yard, it's usually after work or off the clock, and I draft it and then I post it later.
Right.
on.
The big company that's here, one of the big contractors, they got real mad at me. They actually brought me into their head office and was like, we're going to ban you for life. And I was like, well, so while they're talking to me, I'm just kind of ignoring them a little bit. And I pulled up everybody that I knew that worked for them. Social media is social media. I don't care if it's Snapchat, Facebook, whatever. It's social media, social media.
Mm-hmm.
So I pulled up everybody and I was like, well, there's every one of your fucking finishers.
Mm-hmm.
Here's all your carpenters. There's a couple, and I was like, just because I had the biggest account doesn't mean that you guys get to pick on me. I said, and they're not signatory with the ironworkers, so I was like, I will absolutely run your name in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, absolutely. I don't give a fuck. And they were like, and I was like, you think I don't have videos and pictures of all? I'm the boss out here for, what we do. You think I don't have videos of all this shit kind of messed up and not legit? I'm sure that company would like it if I sent them an anonymous email saying, hey, look at your footers.
Yeah.
Look what the carpenters did. And then they were like, oh, you know what, man? It's okay. Just try to keep our name out of it. And okay. It shouldn't have to come down to that. But my company thinks they're great. My company sends me a lot of stuff. Like, I get so many emails now, though. Like, it gets crazy. Like, people that want you to sponsor stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I got an email from Timberland yesterday.
Really?
To be an ambassador for them. But I'm conflicted with it because Brunt Workwear treats me so good.
Yeah.
But they don't pay me anything.
Yeah.
But the guys are super good ass dudes. So it's like, man, them guys treat me really good. And I don't make a lot of money on endorsements or nothing. Like Walls hit me up and they just gave me stuff. But they're like, hey, this video does good. We'll do this and this and this. And I'm like, well, whatever, man. Whatever. So
That's cool.
But go ahead and sign us out, Travis.
But yeah, so it's out there.
Right on.
Instagram is where it's at, though, you guys. For real.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
So take.
I've been posting shorts on YouTube. They're doing pretty good.
Shorts and then Reels. Go to Reels, but make sure if you can get the same name you guys have. Repost your TikToks right to Reels. You'll get cross back and forth from all the people on Instagram. Because a lot of people on Instagram don't go to Reels or don't go to TikTok.
That's
Get
a
back
good
and
idea.
forth. Once you get over 10K on Instagram, you'll make money, not TikTok money.
Yeah, because TikTok money is a joke.
Yeah, I dropped out of the creator fund a long time
The
ago.
creator fund's so flooded now. Like I get like 1.5 million, 2 million views a week, but you don't make no money. Like it's not even worth it. But Instagram's a whole nother story.
On my first Brothers of the Hook, I was in the creator fund.
Yeah, you were killing it until they fucking
banned me. I had like $250 in that bitch. They fucking banned me. So I didn't even join this time, and they haven't even fucking banned me or nothing.
Yeah,
but
I'm
go ahead
on an account warning right now. So
Nice.
But go ahead
anyway.
and sign us out, Travis.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for making it this far on our podcast. Thank you, Rough Iron, for coming on. Hopefully, we could have you come on here more in the future.
Hell
So,
yeah!
I would
let me
also
know.
like to thank our new sponsors. Dave, who's our new sponsor?
AAA Crane and Rigging.
In Addis,
Addis,
Louisiana.
Anus, Louisiana.
Sorry, my apologies.
AAA Crane and Rigging, Addis, Louisiana. They got all your CCO, NCCR, all your rigging certification needs. Make sure and look them up. So
Make sure to catch
All
us on
right.
iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube. Where else, Travis?
Did you say iHeartRadio?
yeah.
I wasn't listening to you,
I
Dave.
know.
We're on Apple Music.
Pretty much anywhere you could find a
Anywhere
podcast, you will find
find
the Linepull Podcast. All right, thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, and we look forward to our next episode.
Appreciate it.
Hell yeah!
Rough Iron.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you guys for
Hey,
joining
Thanks
us.
for coming on. Thanks for coming on, Rough Iron.
Yeah, guys. I'll see you guys later.
Yep.
All right.
Stay safe, Stan.